This is Tarkin coming at you with another game of Minecraft Wheat Edition. Because I'm a terrible video game player. I'm an old person. I can't do anything right. But I can plant wheat. Planting wheat will not remind me of what I did the rest of today, which was like fail in my objectives. I mean, it was fine. I had a good time. But I think it's just better to come back to my wheat field for a bit. Too much excitement. That's my verdict for the world. Too exciting. And we'll just head over to the far reaches of the wheat field over here and get to planting. Been slacking on the wheat field. The planting has not been proceeding at an optimal pace, so we're gonna get on that. You know, when I look back on it, it's surprising that I kept playing Minecraft at all. I think it was just that it came so highly regarded. Because my first while of playing it was so bad. I was so bad. I mean, I was having fun. That's the important thing, is to have fun. This is long before I knew that you could plant, like, a lot of wheat if you wanted. So now I'm torn between wanting the free irrigation from the rainstorm and then also wanting the light to grow the crops in general. I think we'll take the free irrigation. Irrigation's good. And it'll, you know, it'll happen irregularly, and that will be nice because it'll, you know, it'll provide the little amber shoots going up whenever the rest of the field is a little further behind, which, although not as pleasant as a flat, beautiful mountain of wheat, is still a very pleasant sight, and one to be encouraged. It's funny, there's just like some torches on the mountain of wheat. That was like whenever I was fishing for thunderstorms. That's where I was hanging out. And I would get so mad at creepers showing up and ruining the shape of the wheat, as you might imagine, that I took the drastic measures of putting torches down, which I have done like almost nowhere in this world. I would have only done it at like the places that I was at after I turned the difficulty off of peaceful. So like, there's, oh no, I've fallen down. There's like some on that island, but not like the whole thing, just like right at the area where I wanted to put my chest because I didn't want a creeper to show up on them. You know, I like good game mechanics and all, but I do resent when they make me pay attention to them. I mean, not in every game. It just depends. I suppose, like, for the last quite long time in life, besides playing WoW, I played sort of, you know, sandboxy games, principally. So I'm accustomed to being able to ignore the guidance of the game. Which, you know, works better in some genres than others. I remember when I was picking up Dead by Daylight, you basically had to pass the tutorial, and I was having a terrible time with it because I didn't want to pay attention. Right? It's just a simple way of putting it. You know, like I just thought, whatever, I'll learn the game by playing it. I really don't want you to tell me what to do. And I've always felt like that. You know, the best tutorial in a game should just put you in a situation where you can do the thing that you're supposed to do and learn from there. I will use the example of GoldenEye 64, one of my favorite games. You know, it drops you in, and it really doesn't give you any clear instructions. Level 1, Dam, is the name of it. You have to run to this dam and jump off of a platform. It's the most wonderful thing. But, you know, they just throw you into it. You've got a gun, but they don't like slow the game down and say, pause to fire. They're just like, you know, you'll figure it out. Or you'll keep on dying, one or the other. And I like that. I like when my inability to pay attention to cues or pay attention to NPCs makes me take 15 times longer to learn a game than otherwise. There's no such tutorial in GoldenEye, but I like that era. And if there are tutorials, then they're like actually part of the game. But the Minecraft way works too. Almost everyone I speak to, though, in real life, and most people on the internet, seem to just like look stuff up, though, which is fine. You know, I probably would have looked up some stuff for video games whenever I was younger, if it was possible to. And I did for some things. There was a board once upon a time called Game FAQs, and it was wonderful, and you could have, like, reader guides that were there, and this was like really a forum aggregate. And the frequently asked questions just sort of depended. You would be just as able to see a dude's list of like all his favorite Pokemon as like a really good examination of it, but you know, the democratic nature of the system eventually won out, and you could find generally the best guides with the most, you know, upvote equivalents, that kind of thing. But the funny thing about guides, because I used to read bunches of them for various games like Diablo 2 and such, people feel very strongly about like the right way to play a game, right? And that's even true when there isn't a right way. When you have an objective like to do something as fast as possible, there often is a correct way. But even barring that, sometimes there are considerations where, like, just doing the arithmetic doesn't relate to practicality in a game. Like, for example, if something is the best build in a game, but it's boring, then I won't do it, and I'll quit playing the game, and that makes it not a very good build. Now, objectively, you're correct. It's the proper build for a player, but it's not useful if the point is for me to find something in the game that I want to do, which is really why I'm not playing World of Warcraft right now, because there's a proper way to do everything in World of Warcraft, and I hate that. Back in my day, no one was any good, and we all thought we were, but now some people are good, and the only way to be good is by doing what they do. And there is the equivalent of just planting a lot of wheat in World of Warcraft, but it's better in Minecraft, so... So Blizzard got my $15 this month, but I think I'm going to cancel it. I might play other games that I'm bad at, and I don't play right, but I don't think I want to play World of Warcraft again. It's just a bummer. But I finally played a new game today. I played Terraria, and I did so bad. Like, oh man, you would not believe how bad. Unless you were watching it. That game may have had a tutorial that I just ignored, But I, I'm not convinced I understood anything about the game at all. Had a viewer hopefully trying to hint me towards some things, but I think I am too obtuse. Because it took like a really long time in Minecraft for me to even build like a crafting table. More than an hour. I did build a crafting table in Terraria, but it took me a long time to find the lumber. Like a long time. I had to go several minutes in one direction, but then I found a chest with some lumber in it. And then I didn't pay very much attention to the crafting menu. I just made a sword and a bow and kept on trying to explore. And it didn't go great. I died just all the time. I'm so bad at it. Just terrible. But you know, it's because I wasn't playing it right. I don't know how to play it right, but I could just tell. I could tell that I was doing it wrong. Sometimes I do that. But like I can't stop. It reminds me, well, not of the song itself, but of the title of this song by a band called Straylight Run. Hello, Justine. It was called "Mistakes We Knew We Were Making," and that's what Terraria was to me today. I was like, I could tell that I wasn't doing it right. I didn't have a bad time. How's your day been? But I think I might try more. Maybe even tonight. I don't think I'll get it. You know, I just, you know, maybe I will. Maybe I will talk more to that guy. The Logan fellow. And maybe he can tell me how to play the game better. You know, my mistake was leaving his side. I could have just hung out with him, and then I probably wouldn't have died a million times. Alternately, I would have gotten him killed too. It's definitely a possibility. Have I ever played Call of Duty? Yes, but not in the modern era. I played a whole bunch of Nazi zombies in Call of Duty World at War, which was like, oh, this would have been like 2010 or so, and then Modern Warfare 2. I think it was Modern Warfare 2 that came out around then, and I played a bit of that with my friends, but I didn't get really heavy into it. My big first-person shooter was the first Halo. But I like the zombies sort of mode. Like, that would be the sort of mode that I would be interested in playing if I played it today. I don't have the patience or the expertise for competitive first-person shooter playing anymore. I often find that playing games with other people when I'm competing against them just makes me and them not have a good time. Have I seen the character Ghost? No, I don't think so. Making great progress on the wheat field. Soon we'll be able to see the mountain in the distance. Relatively soon. You know, there's a lot to cover. The important thing is getting the wheat down, you know, because once you plant it, it's there. And without any villagers to scuff it up. I don't know about the accent, but I think I have seen them on merchandise. If it's a character that makes its way onto, like, Monster Energy drink cans, then yes, I have been given those cans of Monster Energy drinks and looked at the character and said, a skull mask. Yeah, so if they're on cans of Monster or on, like, Little Caesars pizzas or all the other places where you would find Call of Duty characters, then yeah, I've probably seen them. But if they're not on the merchandising, then I doubt it. Because I haven't, like, sat around and watched my friends play Call of Duty in many years, unless he's, like, an iconic part of it and I just don't know him. But this is like the great happiness in wheat planting, is when you finally get done with a bunch of annoying verticality in the landscape and you just get beautiful straight rows where you can just go right up and down them. And some of them are even getting irrigated from the rain, which is lovely. You never want to waste a good rainstorm when you're in the middle of a wheat farming time. Because, you know, like, a better farmer would be putting water down this whole time, but I like to do that in a different batch. I go and get a big old chunk of wood and make like 128 slabs and then run around and irrigate a little more space. But I usually don't do that on stream. It's like a morning coffee type of thing. This is so amazing. Oh yeah, look at all this flat land right here. Relatively flat. Relatively right here. Let's get to planting more. The only true happiness in life, after all, is in planting straight rows of wheat. Fortunately, Minecraft makes everything in straight rows, which is good, because otherwise I would be all crooked and haphazard, and then that would be embarrassing. Actually, they don't make everything go into totally straight rows, because you can get flower placement that's a little wonky inside of the blocks. But, you know, block-wise, it's all going to be there. I definitely remember placing, tulips and stuff, and thinking, are they going to line up? And then immediately realizing they never would, that nothing ever would line up. And now the rain is about to end, which is very sad indeed. We were getting such wonderful irrigation from it, but we will have to overcome our sadness by planting more wheat. And these areas are really annoying, but the important thing is if you get them taken care of early, then you can just avoid them and get those wonderful flat spaces and burn up your seeds there. Because, you know, it takes a long time to get these areas on the side planted up. But let me tell you, that's the difference between an amazing wheat field and a merely average one. Is taking advantage of all of the spaces that wheat can be planted in, and not merely the most glamorous ones. And really, I can't believe how much land flattening we have done. Like, it's embarrassing that I once had a plan to remove these accent marks of the wheat field, these most important accent marks. Just going to lay down real quick. I don't think I've seen that character before. No, but he looks cool. He looks sort of like they're called chaplains in Space Marine, and the Space Marines in Warhammer 40k. They have like that same sort of skull mask going on. Pretty cool looking guy. But nope, I don't, it's not ringing a specific bell. But like I've probably said many times, I don't like advertisements, so unless it's like on some physical thing I see, like a can of soda or a box of pizza, I'm not gonna see it because I don't see ads in like my personal life. They don't exist on my computer. I don't believe in them. And I, of course, do not use a smartphone or anything like that. So they don't exist on my phone either. Special Forces UK, like the SAS. I think they're still called the SAS. I am not that current on my jargon. But as a child and a young man, I did read all of the Tom Clancy books. So you could say that I have got quite an education in jargon, if not in reality. No, the SAS is always what writers of fiction have a person be from if they need them to show up in America but have instant credibility. Like, there are these books I read. The first one was called Dies the Fire. Like, the laws of physics change, and so like car engines and explosives and guns don't work, and everyone has to start using like bows and arrows and swords and ride horses again and stuff. But they have a character that was from the SAS, Sam Aylward the archer, and he was like, he was hunting when the laws of physics changed, because it happens in like the modern era, modern-ish. But that was how they demonstrated to you, the reader, and everybody else involved that he was serious business, is because he was in the SAS. Sort of like how, you would say a guy was a Navy SEAL or, in Delta. It's like a fun fiction shorthand for saying that somebody's a real tough customer, a real serious dude. Like how you can say that someone is good at chess, and it's shorthand for saying, hey, they're smart, even though, being good at chess, you don't often find a dullard that is good at it. It's not a one-to-one comparison. I'm not very good at chess. I am cheerful about that. I won't say I never tried to get better at it. Like whenever I was a kid, like 8, I read chess books and stuff, and I did chess problems, and I was interested in it, but I didn't end up pursuing it. I didn't have like a special aptitude for it. I was merely better at chess than children typically are. I certainly was not like good at chess. Although it amuses me anytime somebody thinks I am, because I'm like, oh, you really don't know. You really don't know at all. You're a person who's never gone through Bruce Pandolfini's books and realized there's a whole lot of problems you just can't find the answer to. No, I like chess, but in the way where I let other people play it. I would much rather watch people play chess than play it myself. I am embarrassed by how poor of a player I am. I crave instead the simplicity of wheat. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, you are correct. It is indeed. It's nice to get like a whole inventory of seeds down, even if they're in bizarro rows like this, because the important thing is, that all the roads are made of wheat and leading to Rome. The only way to fail is to not plant, and that's clearly not going to happen. We're going to plant. I may not be able to play Terraria, but I can plant wheat. Maybe it's just one of those situations where my refusal to look things up and like watch videos of games while I'm playing them is gonna bite me. Like maybe in like 30 seconds. Good night. Maybe in like 30 seconds I would be able to understand how the game is supposed to be played. Because sometimes I do that. like a, I don't want to call it a fundamental attribution error because that's not what that means. But it's almost close to it. Like my perceptions of something are so wildly incorrect that I can't see the correct situation and the correct solution, because like what I am thinking about is just like not in the same proper universe. Like dividing a whole equation by 0 and thinking that the equation is what is wrong. But that's just sort of like my whole experience with being alive. So in the distance, the mountain of lights with the cherry trees and the mountain of wheat with the wheat. But now we are seedless. We've gotten all the seeds, so it is time to go to the seed chests, which are over here somewhere. You know, we're actually making really good progress on this. I was downplaying it a little bit, but you know, you can't argue with success. And if you are wondering, is this what success looks like? Oh yeah, it is. This is absolutely the appearance of success. This is the picture of it. Write it down. And then we have proper wheat here in the back. Yeah. You could probably do, like, maybe another inventory, probably a little bit less, and then we'll have to go and mend the hope. I gotta quit jumping. Why am I jumping? Ridiculous. I was gonna say, there's something down there. It is a lowly donkey, a burro, and it is just chilling. It'll be okay. But I'll tell you what won't be okay, and that's the world of wheat. If we don't get more wheat down, these wheat futures are going to plummet. We have to show that we have the ability for continued growth. The wheat shareholders will not be mocked. They will not be moved. They will only be wheated. And, you know, they'll require more and more wheat with each passing year, for that is the nature of a wheat-driven enterprise. After all, if I'm not going to plant it, they'll find someone who will. And more and more. It's all we can do to save these few flowers that we have. Yeah, so we actually need to flood over. Is my computer, my internet blowing up? These are questions. Alright. Apparently things are back together again. Perhaps it was hiccuping. But everything is the same again, so that's good news. Yeah, so the general plan for the wheat is we're going to come down here, and we're not going to take this this forest biome here, but everything of this split over we're going to take, and then whenever we go, you know, why don't we fly to show the plan? Yeah, so the forest goes along uh, the wayside like so, and we're gonna leave this whole forest biome there. But here we're gonna go probably just pull up there, and I might just do like a lot of flowers on that island. I haven't decided yet. We might not do wheat there just because it's such like a small space that could like really be an accent mark, depending on what we do with it. But then yeah, we're not going on that side where we're pointing there. All of that is just going to remain, but we're going to run the wheat down this seam the whole way to the mountain there, which now marvelous. So at the very far reach of where we have our wheat field planted here, if you could only fly, you'd be able to see the top of the mountain as it stands in the distance. And that's where we're going. That's where the temple will be built, the Temple of Wheat. And we actually are, it's going to slow down as we get further because we're about to have a huge area to be planted as opposed to this sort of narrow band. But that is, part of the fun. At least for me. An infinite need for infinite wheat. But this was nice. Nice little wheat planting time. Oh no, I have planted a tree. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want that tree to be on my inventory at all. I must have accidentally hit a branch or something. Alright, well, this was invigorating, and I now feel strong enough to do something else with my day. But we will run home first. And I should have like a whole bunch of wheat there. Oh, I forgot my sword again. And there's so many in there. You know what? We'll have to make a few more. It shouldn't take too many. Yeah, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be much more than that to mend up, I wouldn't think. And the crowd of cows goes wild. But this is what the wheat field is all about. Apparently they are dying to cram in there, at least somewhat. And I can pick up the things occasionally when running through the field. That probably was from the last time we were around, and we just didn't have inventory space. Or we didn't pick it up. I don't think that many died this time. But before too long, we'll be out of wheat and back in a totally mended tool, because that is how the field of cows works. You don't want to be a farmer without a field of cows. That's what I always say. I think we just run through. There should be like, yeah, because they have to find each other once they've been fed. So sometimes, you know, it takes a few seconds to arrive at the orbs that you need. And of course, you can't really see them depending on what's going on, but there we go. Excellent. Let me out. Please let me out. I don't have a sword. I can't make you let me out. There we go. And now we'll just, you know, throw the stuff in there like we always do. But I think that'll do it for this stream. Might do another one of something else in like 10 or 15 minutes. But I've got enough wheat planting done for me today. It feels nice to get some wheat in the ground, but I feel nice and peaceful. And as is tradition, we will fly up and take a look at the grandeur of the wheat field from the center. The heart, the original wheat field. So yeah, you can see that we're definitely getting pretty far away, and that's going to be a good chunk of wheat. It'll be nice to have this little split in between it. You know, you don't want only one color of wheat. Just as the Mountain of Lights will have that beautiful bit of cornflowers, we'll have, you know, a bit more mountain here, and I might extend the cherry tree biome around the top. It's all artificial, of course. But around this top of the ridge there, just because it's very me, and, you know, because it'll be pretty. And, yeah, so there you have it. The iron golems multiply in the fields, and the wheat grows, you know, it's the circle of wheat, and I just feel happy to be a part of it. We got plenty more to plant, plenty more to sow, but no more for today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I hope I'll catch you in the next episode of Wheat and Wheat-related Splendor.